the fight against corruption, do Kenyans feel it's genuine? Is it working? Is it real? First of all, we asked them because it just happened. This is like last week, and everybody has been talking about the demolitions of buildings and structures. And Governor Sonko, whose county has started, would perhaps be happy to hear this. So the question we asked is, do you support the ongoing demolition of buildings and structures built on road reserves and near rivers? Anything that's grabbed land. And 64% said yes, they support the ongoing demolitions.
Indeed, we've seen a lot of reclamation of riparian lands, of leeways for building roads, and various infrastructure being destroyed in the wake of the president's fight against corruption. Now, as a country, I don't think we've waited for this moment, and I put waited in quotes, because the truth of the matter is we were too scared to do anything. The repercussions were always too big. The owners of these places already had the guts to do the wrong thing from the get-go. Not only did they have the guts, they had the means to convince NEMA officials, to convince county officials, to convince planning officials, and all that entire process to get it done. And in the cases of some of these places, we know they've been taken to court before, and we've never seen anything happen. So the issue was not waiting. The issue was a fear within a country of the so-called untouchables. So for President Uhuru Kenyatta to actually instigate this, it is not that he's been waiting, but I think for him the time has come, and he's decided to do a fight against corruption where he's not taking any prisoners, where it's a shoot to kill order as far as corruption is concerned. All right.
We are now in the process, as he has said, of demolishing properties that have been built on riparian land along our riverbeds, a scenario that many of you will note has resulted in flooding and other issues that make Nairobi uncomfortable to its own residents. And we will continue to do so, as the governor has said. We will continue to do so. But equally, for those who made the approvals, we are not just going to punish those who built, because I know in many instances, many of them are claiming they were given permits. But those permits and whatever they were given illegally, but they were given by government officers. So I want to assure you that we are going after all those who issued those permits. Those ones will be prosecuted.
The president, did he wait for his second term to reclaim a legacy for fighting against corruption, to reclaim our lands, to reclaim our stature as president of this country? I think he did. And now, whether it was wise or not, is the proof will be in the pudding. These are the merits why it would have been wise. You wait for a term where your actions have no impact on your re-election. That's one thing. Two is you wait for a term where your actions cannot be taken as political survival, so that it's not seen as if you're fighting your opponents. For example, we all know that when a big building comes down in Nairobi, it's owned by a big person, because you and I don't own such buildings. So it was always understood in the past that if you take down a building like that, then you must be fighting that big person. So if that person is person X, then we connect them to Y, and therefore you must be fighting Z. So one of the ways to fight corruption is he needed to isolate it from politics. He needed to isolate it from him surviving. He needed to isolate it from it being a partisan issue. You see, and that's why it's important that even in his second term is when he shook hands with Raila, which is an interesting thing, because if he had shaken hands with Raila in the previous term, we'd still have said, oh, this is political movements towards 2017. He's trying to get himself re-elected. But now everything that he's doing has got to be understood either from the goodness of his heart or from his mind planning a better future for himself even, because he's still a very young president. But either way you look at it, It's a good thing for the country. It's a good thing for Uhuru Kenyatta himself to want to live in a better country post-2022. And it's a good thing for him to have a good heart for the Kenyan people to push it forward.
Over the last few weeks, I've lost very many friends, Bishop. Because I've been receiving so many calls that, how can you just sit there and watch all this destruction going on? You must stop it. And I said, well, it's difficult to stop. It's difficult to stop not because we love to destroy, but because we must fight impunity. Because if we fail to fight impunity, we will not achieve our dreams. And a time has come for us to fight impunity. A time has come for every Kenyan to realize, no matter how powerful you think you are, no matter how much you think you know people in high position, no matter how much money you have, that will not save you. That will not save you.
Right now, pessimism about the president's and his team's desire to fight against corruption will be ill-advised. It will be ill-advised because what any politician needs, including the president, is the goodwill of the people for him to do the right thing. The doubt does not help the political environment. What we should do is actually tell him, congratulations for chopping off the Shell on Riverside. Because Shell lost 45 million shillings. That's how much they used to make from that. That's a big deal. It's a big deal in any language. And we should encourage him. And then tell him, there's Taj Mahal, which has been marked many times. Next to UK, there's Westgate, there's Oswald Center. All these places, we need to begin to push him. The more we push him with the hope that he'll do something about it, the more impetus we give him to do it. The more pessimistic we are about it, the less impetus he has. So the best thing to do as a nation is to actually have optimism that whatever he's doing, he will continue to do and finish.